part three of this video series. We want to talk about how at the 5C1 Center for Growth, we connect that learning process that we have, that continuous learning process through mastering competencies onto an actual job or, entrepreneurial experience. And at the 5C1, we've created um, and connected with certain types of businesses that we feel that would work well with certain uh, groups and neighborhoods. And pretty much when we speak of trying to serve low income areas, we're really talking about how do we create good service. We feel like good service will sort of turn a lot of things around when we begin to engage in employment. One of the things we have is we created our 5C1 Beauty Center. And our Beauty Center model is a subscription based model that we want to engage apprenticeships into the full line of beauty, where we're talking about hair, we're talking about beautician, we're talking about facial makeup, we're talking about nails, we're talking about barbering, haircut, and in some cases, having all of those incorporated into one center where one person will pay one subscription price to engage in those activities. That's one of our models. The second model we have is our veggie delivery and farm stay. Um, that model is pretty much based on creating and working with local farmers and creating plots of farmland that vegetables can be grown and taken to market or delivered to homes personally. We have our 5C1 health information testing and disease prevention center. And the concept behind that is we need to make sure people have access to health information. And a process of testing. Testing is not high tech, high speed anymore. It can be filtered down to very local levels. So we can make that available in local clinics. Also have health information about the latest disease, the latest outbreak, or just different types of disease that is kind of running rampant in the local community. There's information and there's means of educating people about those things. And the disease prevention portion is what we have to just get accustomed to. We got to know what's in our house good for us, what's bad, how do we need to maintain things when we are sick, what that whole environment should be and look like. So that's our health information, testing, and disease prevention center. And we want to see those located throughout different neighborhoods and very local. It's just as prevalent as churches are on every corner. We got those health centers. Our next one is our customer service and contact center now. That's where we begin to try to meet the needs of our local retail businesses, our service businesses, restaurants that provide service. Is improving the overall service level of the individual. They understand customer experience becomes very important to them as well as on the phone when we communicate, when we're taking sales orders. Those things are important, but we begin to train and make those things real. We begin to gain new experience. We learn new tactics on how to handle different situations. Uh, and then we begin to improve that process overall. So that's out of our customer service and contact center lab is training people to provide top-notch customer service. And our last one is the 5C1 Performance Lab. We do have other labs, which is construction, automotive, you name it. If it's a field, we pretty much have it, but it's not one of the major ones that's easily scalable. And we're talking about the ones that we could scale from community to community, um, get them up, running, started, and make them profitable for the operation. Our Performing Arts Lab is kind of like our hub because we believe this whole concept of engaging people back into learning, as far as we believe, is connected to social interaction. We feel we may not be as successful to introduce a class and ask someone to enroll in it on Thursday night. That might not be the way to attack our target market. What we feel is if we try to build a personal relationship with the individuals in different areas, in different fields, and in different environments, that we can begin to establish that learning concept as we build the relationship. We learn more about each other, we gain from each other, we share information, and we begin to build that learning process where we introduce that continuous learning and that growth process to these individuals. But it's based on um, their being comfortable in their environment is where we begin to offer those things. So we're not trying to introduce something that they may not be familiar with and make the environment kind of confrontational. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it so that their experience with learning or interacting with information and growth and development resources is a good experience. It's an experience that they automatically will see some benefit from. So that takes care of our performing arts, and we want to engage musicians. We need to gauge um, individual performers, local performers, um, poet readers, poetry readers, excuse me, spoken word, individual artists that have their own types of venue. Anything that can be shared and people can gain and grow from it is where we want our performing arts lab to go and branch off and become an actual career field for those talented individuals in the arts. Thank you, and I hope this lesson 3 shares information with you about how we connect our learning, which is our commitment to mastering the competencies which we know will qualify us to be successful and move on to any type of venture we choose to engage in, knowing that if we at the 5C1 Center for Growth remove the barriers for you to gain access to those competencies that you can be able to commit to working. In return for removing those barriers, you agree to remove the excuses from not engaging and completing those competencies. And when we got that type of relationship, where we have learning that's going to go on continuously, then it will always be adding value to whatever you choose to engage in. You build a solid foundation, and you're always able to add new information to what you already know, and that's your vehicle to move forward. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the series.